Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, we're having another red week, unfortunately. But if you do want to subscribe, hit subscribe. We go live 30 minutes after market close, Monday through Friday on most days. You know, sometimes we get a little bit busy. It is what it is. We're all human. We all have lives to live. But here we are. If you want to get connected with DVH fam, links to our options trading group below, along with Discord. If you're here right now, say what up. Who we got here? We got Chetan, or Jeff, Eric, Ahmed, Garrett, FC, Jordan. Let me get this right. VTech, not Wittick. VTech. PB. Long time no see. Glad you're here. VTech, right? Say I'm right, please. What do we got here? Mike Matthews, I think that's you. Super perspective. It's hard for me to keep the usernames right, or your guys' names right when you have the username. So Carmine, how you doing? RSA, Tim. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. Could be just a made up name, but you're right. All right, VTech. It's not. If anybody wants to know, his name's not Wittick. It's VTech. VTech. I was corrected. I will. Abel, what's up? Learned a lesson. Made 41,000 of fake money. Nice paper trading. That's pretty crazy. Aisha, what's going on? Learned a lesson. Learned a lesson today, but green week. Nice. So I had a red week. I'm down about 180 today, but this is definitely gonna be a tough stream for me. Wow, PB got 75% gain on CMG. Nice. We were looking at CMG. It just seemed really risky to play, but I'm glad that you found an entry. Also, like in CMG, the options aren't necessarily that liquid, so it makes it tough. It makes it a tough trade, especially when it's like that high priced. Totally locked down. Sometimes it goes your way. You know, it's kind of like what they say in the Hunger Games. What do they say? Is like, may the odds be in your favor or something like that. You know, you don't want to be the one that gets picked off first in the Hunger Games. You know. Don't rush for the chest in the middle of the sea there. You know, you're usually gonna get gunned down and it's gonna be bad. Let's see. Josh Arnold, small trades this week, but green. Nice. Yeah. So we're gonna do things as more people join here. We're gonna do things a little bit different today. This is more of a video of self-explanation, along with. I mean, we can look at some trades and stuff. I'm not gonna go through each one of my trades today, mainly because the strategy that I've been implementing has been straight garbage. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna do this YouTube channel if I have to sugarcoat the facts. If I have to, you know, filter my trades. If I have to, yeah. Some people, if it's your first time here, you come on here and be like, man, this guy is stupid. Log out, and that's fine. It is what it is. I'm doing this video. It's gonna be an accountability video. It's gonna be, you know, documented. Anybody that's here, but if you guys didn't know, in January I did like the first video that I did in January. I said I was gonna shift my strategy. I'm gonna focus more on day trading. I'm gonna focus on more on certain things. And why did I do that? The question is, why did I do that? Mainly because I was winning pretty consistently in the market for a very long time. Now, I don't say that to brag or anything like that, but you can rewind you can go back and watch the videos or whatever you want to do. If you want to, you know, if you think that I'm lying or you know, whatever. But you can go back and look at the videos in December, November, October, you know, even before that, whatever you want to do. And you can see the trades that we did, the trades that we had good days, we had bad days, but overall we came out green, right? Then January, I had my first red month in a long time. And I said in the beginning of January, before all this happened, before I knew January was going to be a red month, I said I was going to shift strategy. And, you know, sometimes you think that especially if you've been winning for a while, sometimes you think that you know better than the market, or you may know a different strategy that you may want to implement, even though for so long, like 7 months, 8 months, you know, we were making pretty consistent returns. Even though the market was changing, we were still making consistent returns. And I went in and I changed the strategy up just outright, like out cold. And, you know, I would say that instead of changing the strategy, probably should have paper traded that strategy. Hopefully if anybody watches this video, they'll kind of like learn from it. You know, that's the main goal, is that, you know, when you mess up, kind of look in the mirror and say, why did I do this? And then learn from it. Like, what, you know, most traders that have been trading for a long time, they know what it feels like to win. They know what it looks like to win. They also know what it looks like when you're losing, and you know what it feels like to lose. So when you're in a losing position like we are, you have to kind of evaluate, like, why did you make those decisions? Like, why did you do that? Like, why did you switch your, you know, I switched my primary trading. If you guys haven't known, most of my strategy has been to swing trade. I make most of my money on swing trading, and also like longer term. And I'm saying longer term, I mean over a couple of days, like 48 hours, 72 hours, or maybe even a week, right? Most of my money is not made. Most of the money that I've made in the last couple of years has not been from day trading. It's mostly been swing trading. And the outlook of the market, like getting to know myself, I'm not the type of person, yo, Jutka, Baron, what's going on? I'm not the type of person that likes to watch every single uptick or downtick. I don't like to do that. I like to take advantage of market moves. I like to trade market movers. I like to trade stocks that I like. I like to trade stocks that I hate. I like to trade, you know, I mean, I like to trade things, but I don't necessarily like putting a trade on and having to be glued to the monitor. I'd like to go out to eat lunch. I like to be able to take a phone call. I like to be able to do certain things. I like to be able to have some freedom. You know, I don't like to put a trade on and have to watch it. Now, if I'm doing a day trade and it's secondary, if day trading comes secondary to my core strategy of swing trading, that's fine. Like if I want to do that, but I'm only going to day trade, you know, very specific setups. I'm only going to go after the setups that I think have probably like a 90% success rate. You know, I'm not going, I will admit that, I mean, if you're looking here, let me show you. You know, this is terrible. This is terrible right here. So normally, like I would say, like a busy day for me is like 3 to 6 trades, and that's like open or close or whatever. Here I'm showing you example is like 12 or 13 trades here. I don't know, like right here is 12 to 13 trades, and this is just like straight up reckless. Like this is like, why did you do this? And I'm talking to myself, like, why did I do this? Like, why did I do that? Because, you know, sometimes you think you know better than the market, and sometimes you think that you could make something different happen, but really what you need to really concentrate on what works for you. Kit, I wasn't yellowing, but I can see how that was, you know, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I want to admit it publicly. I want to admit to you guys, like, I know that a lot of people watch this channel and they don't want to see garbage plays, and that's exactly what this crap is. Like this in here is all garbage. Like, take it in the garbage. Like, you should just like take my wallet, throw it down the toilet, and that's what it is. Like that's what this list here is. Like, this is complete garbage. I would have had more fun if I went out for dinner tonight and blew 180 bucks than this, you know. And you think that when you shift strategy and don't concentrate on the rules that you set in place, like the rules that I set in place and the stuff that we were talking about for months, I do for a very specific reason. I prefer to slow things down. I prefer to, you know, take a look at a bigger window of time than just like 15 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time. Sure, I made some money on SPY, I made some money on Boeing today, but I mean, it was like pennies, right? And then, like, for instance, today I bought the dip on, like, I was day trading Tesla, right? I had the 305 calls. I bought the dip down here, and then it was kind of bouncing around. I was like, all right, well, you know, time is ticking away. I thought we were going to have maybe a kind of a quick bounce back up to 305 here on Tesla. But really just time was ticking away, and then just came back down, wasn't really wanting to do it. And all of a sudden, you know, I sold for a loss, and it could have came back up to make some money. And that was, I'm glad that happened though, because it was a great reminder of the strategy that I put in place and why I did it. Like, this trade probably is not a bad trade, playing Tesla at this 300 level here, bouncing around at 300. You know, playing Tesla at 300, a lot of times it does bounce in this area. It does bounce in the 300 areas a lot of times. And it's not that it was a bad trade, but what made it a bad trade was the timing that you set for it. So like when you're trading, you have to set expectations. There's a lot of factors. You may have the right idea. I had the right idea, just the wrong timing, the wrong execution. And like a lot of things come down to a profitable option trade. Okay, do you have a good entry? Do you have good option pricing? Is the trade going to work out in the time frame that you allow it to work in? And then is delta and theta going to work for you or against you? And if you're not nailing down those 5 things, which we didn't, you'll continue to lose. And that's the examples of all the trades that we did today. Like all these trades here where it was missing one of those 5 things. It was missing one of those 5 things. And if you're missing one of them, you're most likely going to lose. And, you know, sometimes we all need the reminder. Sometimes everything happens for a reason. We know what it's like to win. We know what it's like to lose. But if you've never had a green week or never had a green month, you know, I definitely encourage you to, you know, I guess pay attention if you care what I have to say right now. Have you ever tried scalping options? Yeah, I just don't. RSA based on the day trading and all that, it's not something that I like to do or enjoy doing. I don't like to do things like minutes at a time. I'm like, my personality is more, when it comes down to trading, it's all about your personality and your emotions, right? So my personality is more about being like, what caters to my strengths, right, is more big picture. And, you know, at these levels, let's say for Tesla example, do I think it's going to go up? Going to go down? You know, if I think it's going to go up, it's not going to. I don't think that it's going to go up within the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, right, or an hour even. Like most of what I do works out over a course of days. Like some of my best trades, if you guys go through the last few months of videos, and a lot of you guys, especially like Matthew, FC, Kit, Drutka, a lot of people that have been here since the very, 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 very beginning. Jeff, Diz, Josh. I mean, there's a lot of people. Ahmed, Chetan. My best trades work out in terms of a plan over a course of days. I mean, sometimes it works out faster, but if it does, that's not my intention. My intention is for it to work out at a course of like 48 to 72 hours, sometimes 24 hours, sometimes less. You know, it really all depends on what the market is doing and if we have momentum. And then when momentum slowed down, really what I should have done was just been very careful and just traded the movers. Like, just you got to go with, you know, when the stock market starts moving and stops gapping up, gapping down. Like we had a nice gap down today. We had some nice movement in the stocks. We haven't had movement like that in a while. Actually, we had some movement yesterday, but I was gone for most of the day. You know, if we're looking at SPY here, some nice movement down from 273 down to 267. You know, but other than that, like before that, we were going up a couple dollars, down a couple dollars, up a couple dollars, down a couple dollars, and you know, we had some upswings, and then you had to really use patience. And I think that I'm okay with being patient. I'm okay with, you know, not trying to, you know, most of my wins were swing trading wins and having like 50% or more gains. And then when I switch to day trading, you don't really get those kind of gains. I mean, you do if you have a big moving day, but like a typical day of non-movement, you got to be happy with like 10 or 20%. So yes, I did learn a lot from this shifting of strategy, and I think that was a great lesson. But at the same time, you gotta sit back and be like, okay, you know, we're the first month is done. The first 5 weeks in 2019 are done. What are we gonna do to move forward? Like people, I know people that have been losing in January have been losing as well, and I think what's hopeful is that there's still a large part of the year to go. Like, we're still in the very, very, very beginning. Like, don't just quit and be like, you know, quitting is the only way you'll ensure your failure. You know, if you quit right now while you're down, you'll never know if you'll succeed. You'll never know if you push through. And I know that I'll push through because I've been in way worse places. I've been in way worse places than I am right now, and I've made a lot of money from those lessons. So I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about coming out on top. I'm concerned about those people that, like, if you're down a lot, like, it's easy to throw it. It's very easy to throw the towel in. It's very easy to say, but that's just like anything in life. If things get to become too hard, most people quit. And if you're a quitter, options trading is not for you. If when things get hard and you fold and you crack, then you should quit options trading and, you know, go clock in, clock out, and have someone tell you what to do. I mean, that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for anything hard to get in your way. Like, options trading is hard. Options trading, it was not meant to be easy, or even any trading or any investing. You know, when the market was going down a lot, you know, people were sweating bullets with their 401ks, and people were really concerned, and, you know, obviously that some of that tension's kind of eased up. But, you know, it doesn't matter if you're investing or if you're trading or whatever the case is. You're gonna feel some anxiety. You're going to be pressured. You're going to come across things that are hard, and it's up to you what you decide to do with that. Like, what do you want to do? Are you going to crack and fold under the pressure and just say, you know, forget it, you know, this is not even worth my time, you know, this is not even worth it? But for the people that do push through, the people that say, no, this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I'm supposed to do, if you feel that way, you're going to push through, and you're going to, you know, 5 years from now or a year from now, or whatever the case is, 6 months from now, you're going to be like, man, that little thing in February, like, I don't even know, like, what that was, but I'm glad that happened, because I got thick bags now in August. You know, I'm making money. I made more money. You know, I'm glad. Like, most times it's like, I'm glad that I learned that lesson early, because now I got some bags to hold, and they're freaking heavy. You know, Jeff, you're welcome. I day trade big gains come out of the market open intraday. You're lucky to make 20%. Drupka, thanks. When the market gets harder, we get it harder. I probably shouldn't have repeated that. I think the explanation, I think it's when things get hard, we go harder. And, like, you know, there's a lot of different things. Like, when I was winning a lot of people were losing a lot. And, like, when I'm losing, someone else, you know, you guys could be winning a lot. You guys having green weeks. I mean, that's great. I'm not salty about anything. I'm not, you know, you can't be like, this is just business. Like, the market's just business. When the market opens, the bell goes off, straight up business. It'll rip your face off. It'll fill your bank accounts. Whatever happens, happens. And if you don't have the stomach for that, it may not be for you. Like options trading, especially aggressive options trading, which we do, it's gonna have some face ripping moments. You know, like, most people, if you lose, let's say you lost like $1,000. Let's say you lost $1,000, right? Which, I mean, isn't a huge amount of money, but for some people, it's a lot of money. But let's say you lost $1,000, and people are like, man, I don't know why I'm losing so much. I just quit. Not knowing that lesson that you learned by losing $1,000 planted a seed that you would make $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 in the years to come. You know, especially if you're young. Like, if you're young, it's okay to lose a little bit of money. I mean, if you're gonna spend 6 figures on college, might as well invest. Learn the stock market. You know, You'll be paying yourself for the rest of your life. And there's a lot of people that will, the ones that will push through. I mean, I know there's a lot of people in this chat right now that had hard months or even hard years, or never even had it never even had a green week before, and they kept pushing through until that one day they pushed through, and now they're being rewarded. What's your favorite option strategy after all the trials and errors? RSA, I'm going to be going back to slow plays, swing trading, and strangles, but strangles that make sense, not just like any type of strangle. They're going to have to be bullish or bearish skewed, and also I'm going to have to make sure the option pricing is on point. Because when the market doesn't move, that's why I'm not going to have a lot of positions going on. Right now, I'm probably just going to have like one position going on until we can get things rolling again. You know, at a couple months ago, as you guys are knowing, I was trading across like 4 accounts, had like 5 to 10 positions each one. We're making nice gains, right? But then when that stops, you have to scale back the risk. You can't just be like, okay, I'm going to do all 4 accounts. I'm going to put this much risk on the table. Because if you're not in a winning, if your win rate is low, you don't want to keep going down that path. You don't want to keep exposing yourself to that risk. So when you're trying to get your win rate back up, either paper trade or go down to smaller position sizes. I made money on EA today, but Wednesday and Thursday I lost money. Unfortunately, I didn't learn any lessons when I lost the money. Tobin, you got to think back. You got to look back at those trades, you know, and say why did I put these trades on, you know what? And then what I always ask myself is, what trades have I done that I've won, and why did I win them? And when I was the most successful at trading, what were the trades that I put on, and what was the market conditions at those times? And then how is that different than today? And then compare the two. You know, it may sound kind of weird, but you know, it's kind of like what people tell you when you're making a big decision. Make a list of pros, make a list of cons, and then move forward that way. It's basically the same thing. Like, make a list of winning, what the conditions were, the type of positions you put on, and then when you're losing, make another list, what the market conditions were like, and what were those trades that you lost money on? Why did you lose? And then figure out, okay, for my personality, for my emotions, and for my style of trading, this type of environment I thrive in. This type of environment I suck in. Like, this is the type, you know, you have to realize those things. You have to realize those things. Otherwise, you'll keep making money, and then you'll flush it down the toilet, and then you'll have to start back over. You'll make money, then you'll flush it down the toilet and have to start back over. So it's better to identify your strengths and identify your weaknesses, and that way you're not ignorant to what you're good at and what you're bad at. Keeping a daily trading journal log has helped me immensely. Eric, can you talk about SPY later? Yeah, sure. How do you identify new stocks to trade? Alex, you came on a pretty interesting day where I'm talking about my losing streak, and what hasn't worked for me. I was trading things like Cron. I was trading things like very speculative, you know, PCG. I was trading like those type of trades I would never put on. And then I started putting those trades on, and my win rate went dramatically lower. So what I'm good at, CGC I traded too, complete garbage. What I need to concentrate on are the money makers, the stocks that I'm very familiar with, the stocks that I've made steady gains from. Like Alibaba last year was my #1 winner last year. Microsoft and IBM I made a lot of money on. What else did I make money on last year? Tesla. We made a lot of money in Netflix. And like, you gotta concentrate, like each stock has their own personality, right? And you may be good at trading certain group of stocks, not good at, like, I'm particularly strong at tech stocks, and Tim, GS was a good one for me too, like the bank stocks. The interesting thing is I'm not good at trading Bank of America, but I'm very good at trading GS. And you're like, well, why wouldn't you be good at the other one? Or why, I don't know. It is. Maybe because it's like a lower price stock. I also know that my win rate is a lot lower. If a stock is $100 or less, my win rate is lower. My win rate is lower. If a stock is $100 or more, my win rate dramatically increases. So like these type of things you have to understand. Like you have to trade or paper trade to understand what you're good at, what you're not good at. Facebook we made some money on too. The one thing I don't like about Facebook though is that their premiums are always pretty rich. I mean, it's heavily traded. Yeah, Hamed. Hamed, I was trading this other crap. I did not put one Alibaba trade on this week. And then you wonder why you're losing. Like sometimes you're blind to yourself. You know what I mean? Like you know what to do, instead you do something else. And this is kind of like an open confession. So if you guys don't like this, hit the dislike, unsubscribe. It was I'm glad you were here. but I want to expose myself. I want to show you why I lost. I want to show you what's real. I want to show you, but also when I win, I show that too. So, when you're losing, you gotta show yourself or show others, like, especially when you're in my position, like, it's not fair to you guys if I were to come on here every day and say, oh, I won. I made $100. I made $500. I made $1,000. It's so great. This is so, we're doing great. I can't even sit down. My pockets are so fat. I gotta go to a chiropractor right now because my spine's all messed up from my wallet. Like you don't want to. That's not what I want this channel to be. This channel I want to be is, I want to highlight my winners, sure, of course, but I also want to expose and highlight my losses, so that way you guys, especially if maybe you've never options traded before, like this is the real deal. Like you lose in options trading, you win in options trading, sure, but this is it. If you can't handle what I'm saying right now, options trading is not for you. Close the window, move on to Bitcoin. I'm just kidding. Don't invest in Bitcoin. Just kidding. Just having fun. So that being said, I think that was enough of a rant. I'm glad you guys are here. I mean, if you guys are enjoying the content, hit the like button. If you're new here, say hello. I want to meet you. Say hi. Connect us with the UVH fam. We're great people. There's a lot of great people here. Not myself. I'm terrible. But there's a lot of people in our community that are just excellent people, stand-up people. And I thank them. And the people that run the Discord, I mean, you guys are. I never thought that when starting this channel I would be doing any of this. I didn't know I'd be live streaming. I thought that I was just making Robin Hood videos for my friends, and here we are. Yeah, USO is one of them. Is one of them, means I don't understand it. So let's go into, I think we want to look at SPY. Someone suggested, who was that? Eric, I believe. And how about that? How about that at close, guys? How about that close? In the last 15 minutes, it went up $1 after tugging the heartstrings all day. Tugging the heartstrings all day, closes, and I think that's why, especially when there's dramatic moves like this, when there's dramatic moves like that, I think for me, like, my personality caters to the overall picture, and it would be better for me to profit from this, play it slow. Like, rarely would I enter in a position in the morning. In the morning, I would mostly take positions off. When IV is expanded, things are volatile, I would mostly take positions off. And then in the afternoon or late morning, I would then put positions on once the kind of the everything went quiet and things died down. As you can see here, like today, we had I wouldn't say major, but it was a pretty big gap down from yesterday. We had a gap down, it was going lower, and then it was kind of like evening out. Like for me, my typical strategy would be to sell in the morning, and then as it's leveling out like this, put another position on, and then I would have been able to take advantage of this move. instead of trying to play these little bars here, you know? Do you have a system to pay yourself, set certain amounts, win or lose, for a day or a week? Do you have a system to pay yourself, set certain amounts, win or lose? So I don't set goals, Mike. I don't set goals for winning or losing. Obviously, if I'm losing, I just stop trading and I say, forget it. I'm not seeing the market very well. I'm just gonna hang back. Which I'm gonna take this weekend just to kind of chill out and just relax, you know. But I don't like to. I think I've mentioned this before, and if you're new here, I apologize. I don't like to set targets like where I have to make $100 a day or I have to make $500 a day or $50 a day. I don't like to do that because sometimes most times the market doesn't allow for that. Like if there's a day that the stock market's not moving and I haven't made that threshold, I may put on positions that I normally wouldn't have put on, and this is the outcome. This is the outcome of doing those kind of things. So you lose. You lose when that happens. And instead of taking the small money that you were going to make that day, you ended up digging yourself into a hole. So I typically don't have thresholds like that. Yeah, Hamed, I agree with you on IBM. The one thing that I would say about SPY though, we're above 270. We had surprisingly closed above 270. Keep in mind that the government shutdown is still a threat coming up. Even though the media is not talking about it, they will. It's very interesting about the media, right? So like CNBC and all those people, they're not talking about the government shutdown right now because the market's doing what it's doing and nothing's too crazy. But as soon as we start hitting some volatility, I guarantee you're going to start getting push notifications on your phone saying market reacts to potential government shutdown. And they blow things out of proportion, right? And make things worse. So right now when things are quiet, like you're like, well, why is it moving up and why is it moving down? But honestly, I mean, probably banks and people buying it up and stuff like that, buying the dip. Right now, apparently we're in the buy the dip type of mode. We have been since December 26th, where any major sell-off, any major downticks, those calls get rewarded. Any major, it's been happening for, we're going on month 2 now. So a month and a half, it would go up and up and up, pull back, up and up and up, pull back, up and up. And then we had some pullback last couple of days. Now we're going to go to 275, 280. That's good. That's a good question. But right now it seems to be pretty safe here. And I would think 265 area would be pretty safe for SPY. If it breaks below 265, I mean, we could be revisiting these lows here. But being bearish in January didn't really pay too well. I'll tell you that much. Actually, didn't pay anything. You got paid nothing. Microsoft and Jordan, can you talk about Microsoft and IBM and their relationship? So they don't necessarily have a relationship, but what I do a lot of the times, I don't usually let a position go naked. And what I mean by that is I usually don't have one position on. I usually have at least 2 positions on, is because I put a position on to kind of see how it goes. If it's going well, if it starts going against me, I then open up another trade on another company to kind of offset the losses or maybe make some gains in there. So a lot of the times I do pair trade IBM or Microsoft. I pair trade Alibaba as well with a lot of these stocks. It really depends on if there's movement. This would definitely had my name all over it back in the a couple months ago. But I was trading different tickers, and I guess I just got to go back to what was working for me and trade that way, Does large put volume make the stock go down? I don't think so. If anything, they're gonna want to screw those contracts. I would get nervous. Let's say the puts were traded way more than the calls in IBM. I'm talking about double or triple or even quadruple. Let's say 1,000 calls were traded, but 4,000 puts were traded. I would get nervous about buying a put because I mean, it could go down, sure. But crowded trades, if you haven't noticed, kind of it's us versus herd mentality. Crowded trades usually don't work out. If you look at Twitter, what happened to Twitter? What happened to Snap? What happened to PCG? You know, everyone was betting on one direction. And what happened? It went the opposite. Now, I'm not saying you should, you know, trade the opposite of what the volume is doing and stuff like that. You know, you got to go with what you believe. But at the same time, I would get very nervous about that. Yeah. So Hamed, one of the things that you're talking about, that GS 195 205 GS. One of the biggest mistakes I did this week. I had the right trade on. But I was in the day trading mentality, and this trade wasn't going to work out as a day trade. What I had on here, on this rip down here on Netflix, I got the 360 put. Great entry, was fine. 360 put, right? Then, as it looked like it wasn't going to work out, I bought the 340 put on this day. What was this day? Wednesday. I bought the 340 put on Netflix. When Netflix ramped up into close, I cut the 340 put. Now, this was a big lesson this week. I cut the 340 put, and what I've been doing for months and a long time, I would not hold an overnight position without protection. I would not hold an overnight position without protection. And every time, not every time, but let's say most times, I was rewarded. I did not do it in this case. I held overnight a naked call, just a call by itself. We gapped down, went all the way down to 340. My call was worthless. My 340 put that would have been there for protection would have paid out. I would think I would have been up a couple $100, or even, you know, I mean, I would have been way better than break even and way better than max loss, right? So that kind of, you know, woke me up a little bit this week in terms of overnight. I just got to get back to my core strategy, swing trading, strangles, and being particular on what I trade, instead of trying to make something happen that's in the time frame that it's not going to happen in. I can't sell option because it's less than 5K, so I only buy for now. Well, you can do, if you want to sell like credits. Sorry, my phone's going off. If you want to do like credit spreads and stuff, you could do that with less capital. You'd have to be short an option and long on an option to kind of cover that. So, but I mean, if you have a very small account, you're gonna be looking at stocks of like $50 or under, and you're gonna be probably trading like GM, Bank of America, GE, AMD is, but I wouldn't recommend AMD as a new trader because the options are expensive in there. You can get screwed pretty easily. It does move, but option pricing gets inflated there very often. Was there any other stocks? Anything here? What did GS do today? Yeah, this would have been a nice trade. I didn't even have it up. So, you know, that's my story. I'll turn it over to you guys. Enough about me. What do you guys have any stocks you want to look at? Any questions you might have? What do you guys think of today's video? Was it a little too much? What's the best option search with some volume and low movements? I on TOS and can't come up with the best search for low movement stocks the best way. So you're asking searching for options with volume but low movement. Are you talking about like percentage change on the stock? You're saying, because you can set up a scanner here for whatever you want. Like if you want to scan a stock for volume, like this would be for you can scan the stock for net change and say you want the stock, you know, maybe the minimum or we'll do maximum required. Let's say you wanted like 0.25%, and then you can go to let's get rid of stock, and then we'll get rid of this, and then we're going to add options, and we're going to look at volume. And you say maybe you want the minimum volume to be or the minimum volume to be 1,000, and then you hit scan. You can do something like that where it'll show you option volume and the stock moved 0.25%, but you got to be careful because there's a lot of crap to sift through here. But so this is scanning the stock net change percentage basis, and this is scanning this is combined with the options, and then you can kind of scale it back. Let's say you want only like, you know, maybe you don't want that much volume. It's 2,000. No, we'll do 10,000. And then you got to kind of play with it to see what you like, but that's how you would search for stock percentage movement and then option volume. Richard, thanks for the $10, man. RSA, hope that helped. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know if that helped you. Snap. Yeah, Snap is just breaking out here. What I would say is we need it above 950 to get above this area where it really cracked down. So if you're looking right here, we're really like 950 area is really where it was trying to bounce back and try to get above, and then this was back in October where it just cracked below. So we have to get people above 950, and I think 10 is going to be no problem. Nick, do you think we've gapped up too fast from the October-December sell-offs? Just looking back at the charts, looks like recoveries from those were not as quick or steep. Chetan, I think that the selling was overdone, and now the buying is way overdone. However, you kind of, if you're thinking about it like long term. Jay Real, what's going on? If you're thinking long term and what the stock market is going to do, if you're not thinking about like what tomorrow is, and we're looking here, and this is the last 3 years, right? This was major. I mean, major. This buying is major. You know, if we go back to 2015 area, 2014, let's go back. Let's go back to here. So the question is, we talked about this before, where are we in a bubble right now or not? It's hard to say because you don't really know you're in a bubble until it pops, right? You don't know. But I think we can all agree on evaluations are a little high, right? But look at this sell-off. So this is in 2015, and the best way to learn the market on what it's doing now is take a look at where it's been. Look up these charts from the past. Look back and see what's going on. Man in Black, welcome to the EVH fam. Now we'll make your channel more popular. Glad you're here. So you got to look at, if you have questions about where the stock market is going, you have to look at where it's been. Like, how did the market react during different sell-offs, right? And 2015 was a flat year, and then 2014 was a year that went up. So this is 2014 here. We were going up and up and up and up and up. And then we had a major sell-off here. It looks very similar. Like, as you can see, this chart here, 2014 looks very similar. We went down, and then we got bought back up, and we went even higher. However, that was very short-lived because we were hitting this like cap here, like 21.25. Through all of 2015, every time we hit this, we got nailed. We got nailed down. And then one day, just like, we had enough. We had enough of this top. We're going to go way down. Went way down. Double bottom down here. And then it pushed up, back up to where it was. Which kind of similar to what we were. We were hitting some tops up here at 2,800. We were hitting some tops. And then we finally had enough of the tops. We ripped down, right? And now we're coming back up to here. Now, back in here, like 2015, if you look, are we going to get stopped out here? Are we going to go to the 2800, get stopped out? Look, like back in 2015, like what it did here, it got stopped out. We eventually headed back lower, and we went back, we tested this 2014 low. So we retested this 2014 low. But after this double bottom retest here, we have had a nonstop break for, this was let's call it like 2 years, two and a quarter years or so, right? Where we didn't have any major pullback. We didn't have any volatility. We just, we were sleeping well at night. People's 401ks were tucked in. They gave them a little pat on the forehead, read them a story, and they woke up richer, right? But if you're looking at this compared to years in the past, these bars are intense. They're intense. And that's probably due to us being in an unstable environment because we went up too fast, too quick. And the market, like when you go up too fast, kind of like this, when you go down too fast or you go up too fast, eventually the market has to chill and has to get a proper valuation. Eventually the market comes to a place that says, okay, enough. We gotta figure out what's gonna go on here. What's up, Boris? We gotta figure out what's gonna go on here. And if we don't know, if the market can't justify this type of valuation, it's got to go down. Like we looked at, I've used this example before, like with Microsoft. Right now it's 105. But going back to the dot-com bubble in the 90s, 2099, actually, we need more. We need more. Okay, so if you're looking at this, Microsoft, this is the dot-com bubble, right? Microsoft went from $5 to $60, and this kind of looks very similar to what's happening right now. Is we went up too fast, too quick, and then we started seeing some shocks, which we're seeing right now. We're starting to see some volatility. And if we're looking at, we can pull up SPX too to kind of compare. And then we had one last push, kind of like Bitcoin, and then we dropped. If we go back to it, I don't think we want to go back to that far, but let's look at the dot-com bubble here in the 90s. This one is a little bit, I would say, better because we had some major pullback before going up, but this one doesn't look as dramatic. But Microsoft, like if you look at the tech stocks, I mean, they went up too fast, too quick. This went up too fast, too quick back in like 98 and 97 to 97 to 98 area. Went up too fast, too quick. Had some major pullback before heading back up. But the question is, like, where are we going now? Like, what would propel us to go higher? Is the economy doing better than it was a year ago? Are companies reporting better earnings than it was last quarter or a year ago? I would say they're not. And I think a lot had to do, like with 2017, especially with Trump's tax cuts and all that he was going to do for the small business and all the businesses and do all that. And I would say a lot of that has not come to fruition. You know what I mean? Like a lot of that has not happened. So, but you have to keep in mind that the market's not a fair playing field. The market doesn't care if you think that it's going to come down or if it's overvalued. The market's going to do what it's going to do. They could pump this to, the S&Ps can go to 4,000. We can go up another 20%, 25%. You know what I mean? Like the market doesn't care about you or your feelings. It doesn't care about your bank account. It wants to take your bank account to zero, right? It doesn't care. It doesn't care. But what they do care about, there's a lot of things, like as a retail trader, things are out of our control. Like we don't have any, as a retail trader, you have to know where you are in this role. Like we come way below algos, we come way below banks, we come way below the Fed. We're the bottom feeders in this. So you have to understand your role when it comes into trading, and we don't get the best prices. You know, trading on Thinkorswim or Tastyworks, definitely Robinhood, we don't get the numbers high frequency traders get. We don't get those, you know, we have to, that's why, you know, for me in particular, it's better to like slow it down. Yo, what's going on, Figure Join? What's going on? If you're new here, say what up. Definitely want to meet you. So it does feel toppy based on the moves that we're making, especially the downside. And if you're looking here on the S&Ps, okay, we made a high up here, but then this looks to be in a very descending pattern, right? Now, let's say, if this is another high right here, not saying it is, because we could easily come back up and break it. But if this is another high, I think that'll be very scary for the market, because, you know, when we have descending highs like this, I definitely think that, you know, we're keep gonna making lower highs, kind of like on Facebook. Like if you're looking at Facebook, you know, this is a descending pattern here where the highs kept getting lower and lower and lower and lower until it had to like break that, had to break that high, you know. Or on Apple, except Apple's a lot more dramatic. And this is what happens when stocks go up like too fast, too quick. You know, Apple went up a lot, and then it gives it back. And as you guys know, we take the stairs up, and then we take the elevator down. You know, we definitely make, I mean, I'm bullish on America. I want to see America do well. I want Americans to do well. I want people to be employed. I want people to make money and stuff like that. But I think it's safe to admit we make a lot more money and we make a lot faster when the stock market moves down, because it's just so much more rapid. Oh, wow. Facebook looks good at 2 to 3 contracts on puts. Yeah. The one thing I would be concerned about, Andrew, so this earnings season has not been particularly good, but for Facebook, it was really good. And when they raise guidance and when they do things like that, you know, you have to be mindful of things like that. Like this quarter, like this earnings season has been tough for a lot of companies. They haven't necessarily been excelling or, you know, doing very well. But on Facebook, they did very well, and the price is certainly reflecting that. It does look like it's coming down, but if we can get, let's say if we can come down to 160, I think that we can make a break for 150. So I'm kind of just watching it. I'm kind of just watching it right now and see what's going on. I guess I don't know. I don't know if the viewers here are real, but it looks like Man in Black is doing his job. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know what's going on here. It doesn't tell me where the viewers are from, so hopefully not Russia. But if you're new here, definitely want to meet you. You can hit subscribe, you can hit unsubscribe. I'm still gonna do my thing, because you know what? At the end of the day, I push through. Like I've had a losing week, haven't necessarily had the best week in the markets for myself, but as an options trader, I've been in way worse positions. In business, I've been in way worse positions. We'll push through. We'll push through. I'm thinking. Andrew says I'm thinking market move and it closed to that previous support. VTech, I'm nice to. I like Russians. I'm just saying the type that. Can you check out IQ? Never. Baron, you got it, man. I think that for. I think we have to be very careful with Chinese stocks, because Trump has been pumping the trade deal, and well, let's just say no deals have been ever made yet, right? They stopped doing the tariffs. They stopped issuing tariffs. I guess that's good, and we're seeing less volatility in the Chinese stocks. I don't know. I don't know, Man in Black. I think you're sending me robots or something. I don't think the people here are actually watching. I don't know, man. I think it's fake. I'm not into fake followers or fake subscribers or anything like that. I'm not into fake pumping. If people want to be here, they'll be here. If they don't want to be here, they won't be here. That's the way I see it. If they like the channel, they'll stay. If they don't, call me stupid. They'll leave and leave me a terrible comment. Which I haven't had the worst comment. I haven't had the worst comment in over a week. I haven't had a bad comment in like a week, which is good. Yeah, I think whatever Man in Black is doing is a fake pump. Seems like a pump and dump. Broadcast hits the top chant and recommends your broadcast to new viewers. Yeah, I don't care about viewers so much. So Man in Black, I'm talking directly to you. I don't necessarily care about viewers. I don't want viewers. Because most people that are viewing it don't care. I would rather have 10 people on here that cared about options trading than 100,000 people that found me because they're looking for like videos on cars or videos on gaming or whatever. So I don't need to be pushed. Whatever I do here is organic. Whatever I do here, I do it because I love to do it. I do it because the people in the UVH fam support what I do. And I do it for the community and the friendships that this channel has brought upon. I don't do it for fake subscribers. I don't do it for fake pumps. I don't do it to get my numbers up because I don't care. I don't have an ego like that says, hey, if I have it doesn't matter if you have a million YouTube subscribers and only 100 of those people care about you. What's the point? What's the point? I would rather have 100 people that cared than a million people that didn't care. So, thank you for your help. But we're good, man. We're good. And if you guys spam me or sell me crap like fake followers, you're getting banned. What's going on, Little Garden? Yeah, if you're new here, say what up. Definitely want to meet you. Netflix, I think Netflix is the stock. I think that nobody will ever understand the valuation. No one will ever understand the valuation. Yo, Rapid Money, what's up? And that's okay. You just have to know how to trade it. I think with Netflix, it's a momentum stock. Obviously, you have to pay attention to the support and resistances, but oftentimes Netflix, like I said before, each stock has its own personality. Each stock trades a certain way, and Netflix hardly cares about support and resistance. Oftentimes, it breaks it. Like in here, it retested this, came back up, broke right through like nothing, just been slicing down like butter. But then the move back up, it didn't care about ceilings. It didn't care about previous highs. It just ripped. It just ripped. YouTube, yeah. Somebody short my viewers. You would have made a stack already. Yeah, not right. Take care, Chetan. Glad you're here, man. But yeah, so I would say the one thing I would say, like 360, we definitely got to revisit this 360 area. We did hit it and it got a hard reject the other day, so we just got to be careful, mindful of that. I think it's bullish till 360, and then kind of check it out that way. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm happy with 50 to 70 viewers because when I first started streaming, I had like 3. Drutka, if you're still here, Drutka. Drutka was like my very first viewer. He was here earlier. He will testify that I literally had like 1 to 3 people, and I was mainly just talking to myself. And you can go back to my first live streams, and nobody said anything. It was like a ghost town, which is, it's fine. But we did the time. You know, we're getting the 40 to 70 viewers every live stream for the little hour that I do it, which is an amazing thing. You know, I don't take it for granted. Drutka is definitely my wife. You know what? My wife doesn't even watch the channel, man. She doesn't watch. Where's the support? I don't have the support. I'm just kidding. She's a great wife. she's great. She's great. I'm not complaining about it. She takes care of the kids. She works hard. You know. She's so busy hustling with the kids, she doesn't have time to watch my channel. I think it was just you and I. Yeah, Andrew, I agree. Andrew, Drutka, yeah, like, I don't know, the fact that we built this community, the fact that the people embrace the other people that are in here is like amazing. Like complete strangers helping other people out just because they want to help is like amazing. Like you guys are the 1%. Like you go online, you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, you think the world's a butthole, but you go into the UVH chat, talk to the people on here, there's actually good people in the world, and that's you guys. Nick actually had us convinced. Rapid Money Online. How do you pick good options? It's based on option pricing, I would want to say, and if the option pricing is underestimating the move, that's when you get the best deal. I think that's the most to the point explanation I can give you, without having to go into the actual numbers. But all right, guys, it's been an hour. There's been a lot of ups and downs, especially with the viewer count. This stream definitely made put me in definitely a better mood. Definitely appreciate you guys for being there for me. If the video was of value to you, hit the like button. Really appreciate you guys. But we're gonna kick the weekend off. Got the we're gonna have some video games. We're gonna have some relaxing. Then Sunday night we're gonna kick off the futures. We're gonna look at charts Sunday night. I'm gonna not pay attention to stocks today or tomorrow. Sunday night we're gonna be hitting the stocks pretty hard. We're gonna come ready for Monday. We're gonna be safe. We're gonna do all the things that we talk about day in, day out. We're not gonna do 12 trades a day. We're just gonna be slow and low. So if you guys have more questions, I do a stream Monday through Friday. If you're new here, hit it up. We can ask more questions, but we're over an hour. It's all the time I got. You guys have a great weekend. It's always us versus herd. Stay safe, stay green. Have a good weekend.